When I was 8 years old, my little sister taught me a counting game she said she learned from a friend who lived in our closet. We stopped playing it after our parents found out. 20 years later, my own daughter came to me last week and taught me the exact same game, word for word, though I never told her about it, and she's never met her aunt, who disappeared when I was 9. I need to explain something that happened in my childhood before I can explain what's happening now, because I don't think you'll believe the second part without understanding the first. I grew up with my younger sister, Ellie, in an old farmhouse my parents had bought cheap because of its age and condition. When I was 8 and she was 6, Ellie started talking about a friend who lived in her closet, someone she said only came out at night to play a counting game with her. Our parents dismissed it as a normal childhood imaginary friend, common enough not to worry about. The game, as Ellie explained it to me one night when I refused to believe her, involved counting slowly to 13 in the dark, out loud, alternating turns, and if you ever lost count or said the wrong number, you had to start completely over from 1. She said her friend always got frustrated if you rushed, and that you were never, under any circumstances, supposed to actually reach 13 together in one uninterrupted count. I asked her what happened if you did reach 13. She said her friend never let it get that far, always finding a reason to restart before they got close, patient in a way she found comforting rather than strange. What happened then? I played the game with her exactly once, more out of curiosity than belief, sitting in her dark bedroom close to midnight. We got to 9 before I lost my place and had to restart, exactly as Ellie had described, and something about the room's silence during that count felt heavier than ordinary silence should feel, a kind of stillness that seemed to be actively listening rather than simply existing. Our mother found us awake and immediately shut the game down, forbidding Ellie from ever mentioning her closet friend again, assuming, reasonably, that this was simply an unhealthy fixation for a young child to develop. Ellie stopped talking about it openly after that, though I noticed she still occasionally counted quietly to herself at night, lips moving silently in the dark. Ellie disappeared 8 months later, on a night our parents were certain they'd locked every door and window in the house. There was no evidence of a break-in, no sign of struggle, nothing to explain it beyond the assumption, eventually accepted by investigators, that she must have wandered outside somehow and gotten lost or hurt somewhere nearby. Her body was never found. The case remains officially unsolved to this day. Decades later, I grew up, moved away, built a life, and eventually had a daughter of my own, Maya, now 6 years old, the exact age Ellie had been when she first mentioned her closet friend. I never told Maya about Ellie's disappearance in any detail. She knows she had an aunt who died young, nothing more specific than that, certainly nothing about a counting game or a closet or any of the unsettling details I've carried privately for over 20 years. Last week, Maya came to my bedroom close to midnight, unable to sleep, and asked if I wanted to play a game her new friend had taught her. I asked what friend. She said a friend who lived in her closet, who only came out at night, who taught her a fun counting game to play together in the dark. I felt something cold settle into my chest before she'd even finished the sentence. The game, again. I asked her, as calmly as I could manage, to explain the rules. She described it exactly, word for word, detail for detail, matching Ellie's explanation from over 20 years earlier with a precision that no 6-year-old should have been able to reproduce from nothing. Count slowly to 13 in the dark, alternating turns. If you lose count or say the wrong number, start completely over from 1. Never actually reach 13 together in one uninterrupted count, because her friend always found a reason to restart before it got that far. I asked her, my voice barely steady, what happened if you did reach 13? She looked at me with an expression far too calm for the question, and said her friend told her that's when the game finally lets you meet them properly. I told Maya, immediately and firmly, that she was never to play that game again, with anyone, under any circumstances. She seemed confused by my reaction, insisting her closet friend was nice, patient, and just wanted company at night since it got lonely being alone in there for so long. What I did next? I didn't sleep at all that night. I sat outside Maya's bedroom door until sunrise, listening for any sound of counting, terrified of what I might do if I actually heard it starting without me there to stop it. The next morning, I called my mother, now elderly and still living in that same farmhouse, and asked her, directly, if she remembered the exact details of Ellie's counting game. She went quiet for a long time before admitting something she'd never told me. In the weeks after Ellie's disappearance, she'd found scratched into the inside of Ellie's closet door, low near the floor where a small child might have carved it, the number 12, followed by nothing else. No 13. Just 12, and then silence in that closet ever since. I asked her if she'd ever told anyone about that detail. She said she hadn't, assuming it would only cause more pain without offering any actual answers, and that she'd eventually convinced herself Ellie had simply been counting something ordinary, days, stars, anything a grieving mind could invent an explanation for. I haven't told her about Maya's closet friend yet. I don't know how to say it out loud without confirming something I'm not ready to fully believe myself. Now, I've removed every closet door in my house. Maya cried about it for days, insisting her friend was upset, asking why I was being so mean about something that made her happy at night. I haven't let her sleep alone since. I check under every bed, behind every door, in every dark corner of every room, every single night, refusing to acknowledge even to myself what I'm actually checking for. 2 nights ago, sitting beside Maya's bed long after she'd fallen asleep, I heard, very faintly, from somewhere in the house, not from her now doorless closet, but from somewhere deeper, somewhere I couldn't immediately place, a slow, patient voice counting quietly to itself. It reached 11. Then 12. Then it stopped, and waited, the silence afterward feeling exactly like the silence I remembered from Ellie's bedroom all those years ago, a stillness that wasn't empty, but listening, patient, willing to wait as long as it needed for someone, anyone, to finally help it reach the number it had been stuck on for over 20 years. I don't know what happens if it ever gets to say 13. I've spent 2 decades hoping I'd never have to find out. I don't think I get to keep hoping that much longer.